When we experience trauma, we often tell ourselves stories about our events and we create beliefs about ourselves that just don't serve us. Like, I'm not good, I'm not good enough, I'm pathetic, I'm dangerous, I'm unable to shine, I'm not permitted to get out of this rut that I've got myself into, I'm ashamed, I feel guilty, and I've got to remain small. I've got to remain unseen. I mustn't challenge anyone. I'm weak. I can't be heard. I have no right to expect anything good to happen to me. But what would give rise to such trauma? How about sexual or physical abuse or assault, serious vehicle accidents, combat or war zone exposure, serious medical events, seeing death or dead bodies, including whilst you're at work, unexpected death of a loved one, natural disasters, arson or maybe house fires, torture, domestic violence, maybe even witnessing or experiencing violence such as homicide or maybe even suicide, terrorism or mass violence, bullying and the repetitive use of force or threats against you. And how do we react to these events? Well, clearly some people never experience any major problems, and this is known as resistance. And resistance is very common among people who've gone through trauma that don't involve sexual assault or abuse. But many people have symptoms similar to post-traumatic stress disorder in the weeks after a trauma. For most of those people, those symptoms will then they'll just go away on their own. And this is known as natural recovery or resilience. This path is very common among people who experience sexual assault. But other people experience problems that do not go away on their own. And post-traumatic stress disorder, otherwise known as PTSD, is one potential outcome when this happens. And others create phobias or maybe obsessive compulsive actions that hold them back in life. And others simply suffer a life of mundanity, greyness, and a long, slow drift towards a lackluster and predictable demise. Life is shit and then you're dead. And here's a recipe for a lackluster life controlled by trauma. How about re-experiencing symptoms including flashbacks or intrusive thoughts about the traumatic event, intensive physical or maybe emotional reactions to reminders of the events, triggers, nightmares, maybe avoidance symptoms including avoiding thinking or talking about the trauma, or maybe just avoiding people, places, or activities or sensations that remind you of the trauma. Maybe negative changes in your thinking and emotions, including feeling more down, depressed, angry, or anxious. Finding it hard or even impossible to feel happy. Feeling shameful or guilty. Feeling distant from other people, losing interest in things you used to enjoy, being unable to remember important parts of the trauma that took place, maybe even having more negative thoughts about yourself, maybe other people and the world about you. Very dark thoughts, I'm sure. Hyperarousal or maybe emotional, physical reactivity, including being always on guard or easily startled, having trouble concentrating, being quick to get angry or to be aggressive, maybe doing things that are risky, such as maybe impulsive sex or binge drinking, maybe having trouble sleeping. I'm here to let you know that there is a way forward that doesn't have to involve drugs and lifelong therapy, people. Hypnotherapy takes you from a place of being a powerless victim to being powerful and in control, making you the coolest and the calmest of cucumbers, able to make yourself heard and your presence felt, to bring your light to the world, maybe for the first time in a very long time. And may I be the first to welcome you back. Time to shine your light once more. All power to you.